TensorFlow, which is the most widely used software framework to do deep learning, as well as Tensor Processing Unit, a specialized hardware that makes deep learning really efficient. DeepMind was founded by the end of 2010, and Google Brain started 2011 as one of the first projects in Google X, the one-shot factory. So they are in this game before most people, and they've been doing great until quite recently. So this TPU pod with 64 TPUs, it got to the computing power of about 11.5 petaflops. By some estimate, human brain is around 38 petaflops. That's like one of the conservative, well, optimistic estimate. But if that's estimate you take, then it's actually get very close to brain scale. In academia, we got the top CS schools ranked by US News and Reports in 2014. So this is not like an official ranking. I just pulled this out because that's a famous ranking. All of them have serious AI programs, and they are close to OpenAI and Google Brain, the universities on the West. Probably on par with them are the basis of the deep learning conspiracists, two Canadian universities and the New York University, and they have as strong, if not stronger, a deep learning program inside there. So these are 7 representative, not necessarily the best 7, but 7 representative schools in that. Every year, for 3 times, they get together in academic conferences. These are the conferences. And the most famous one, NIPS, it has a paper submission deadline of May. So it's not when it's held, it's when you have to submit paper. And that's maybe contributed to why there are so much progress in June. So June is probably a little faster, compared to other months. But still, the overall speed is really, really fast. There is a smaller field in AI safety. Because a powerful technology like AGI, it could be used for good or bad, and many people have warned, what if someone built Terminator? Or someone built an evil system? Like, if it's a 1,000-person consulting company working behind the computer, then what's preventing the users from asking for some really, really bad scheme, right? So that's really good. Some people warn about that, but fortunately, most of the big players understand this risk. And there is a partnership on AI that focuses on making sure the AI's benefits are shared, and all the top large tech firms are in this. There are also smaller firms such as Future of Humanity Institute in Oxford or Machine Intelligence Research Institute. It was independent but very close to Berkeley. Those are 2 of the earliest research institutes that specifically focus on AI safety. So this is where we are today. It's very easy to do AI research. Scientists equipped with fast computers, they can do that at home. So it's almost impossible to stop. Plus, nobody is trying to stop them. If you look at the leading countries, US, UK, China, Canada, and other countries that actually support AI development. So we are in this world where we're rapidly moving towards the kind of creation of a powerful technology like AGI. Many people believe that the people who create the group or the country or the company that creates that kind of technology will own the future. But we don't know exactly how to do that. So who is likely to create that? Well, the natural candidate is a team of AI scientists that have worked together, that have cooperated for years, and they have the ability to make discoveries. So this race is essentially a war on talent. That's why you see so many big players pouring money to build research labs. So what should we do? Well, let's just take the medium-term estimate, says 2060. So within our lifetime, we're going to see that. Then, because of the huge impact it could potentially bring, now is a good time to think more and talk more about the future of AI. Just to get ready. What if such a technology suddenly appears? How do we cope with it? How do we make sure we get the benefits and avoid the consequences? For younger people, probably they want to study computer science and related fields such as cognitive science and neuroscience. It's even a good time to start making long-term career plans if you're really serious about that. Not just in research and development, but safety is important for the rest of us. But policy and strategy to help the society cope, or even advocacy. There are many, many things related to AI that can be done. If you focus on near term, let's say use the most optimistic estimate I showed earlier, in 6 years, we're going to see the creation of AGI. Then, well, the number of options is more limited. Because if it's being actively pursued by the leading industry labs, it's not clear how we should change or shape their development path. But still, the essential thing to do for that is to keep up with the progress in deep learning, so we always know what's going on. A more serious effort would involve growing independent capabilities to do research and development. So as we get closer, we develop the ability to do our own kind of AGI technology. So this is where we are today. We have this great opportunity. Either in the short run or in the long run, there is a great opportunity for us to get into this very advanced society where you get general AI technology. But that's going to require a lot of efforts to get it right. With hard work and caution, I believe, when singularity comes, it's not going to be the catastrophes that are warned by those scenarios. It could be, actually I hope it will be, the next level of civilization. We can live on a smart planet where most goods and services are produced automatically and provided for us. In such a world, everyone can live well and prosper. Thank you.
Thanks for Jonathan's wonderful speech about a lot of governments trying to stop the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency because of their challenging the government's position, especially federal or ECB. But AI have been promoted by the government. Thanks for Jonathan's talk on AGI and multimodal. I think in future, nowadays we will ask what is your blood type, and later on we will ask what is your robot's blood type. We think that the common sense will be created very soon. 2027, yeah.
2025.
Yeah, and I think the robots will have character later on, personality. So how to create a character, personality is blood type. That's why we published that book. It's about the blood type and how it relates to the AI. TensorFlow TPU is inside this, just published around 12 hours ago. Our next speaker will be Dr. Kao. Dr. Kao graduated from Wisconsin degree and master and PhD in Cornell University, applied physics and minor in electrical engineering. So like me, we are engineer, but we step into the financial world. And Kao, I think in Hong Kong, maybe in Central, 10% of the CFA charter holder are your students, right? Roughly estimate. More than that, yeah, maybe 30%. And he's now in Capan as a captain and also Hong Kong New Space, and also was a CEO of a hedge fund like us. So we are doing hedge fund business as well. So of course, co-founder of AI Hong Kong, working with Eugenia and Rex. Yeah. So let's start with his wonderful speech.
Okay. Again, thank you for coming, and thank you, Jonathan, for giving us an overview of the AI. Now, many of us come from the financial market, so my question is, what is the impact on the financial market now and the future? Now, because of time constraint, I think I'll jump around, skip a few slides, but I think the important thing is this. Are you prepared for the future? I think that's the thing you want to take away. Now, I'll actually start from this. Actually, this is a report from Citibank last year. Basically saying that in the next 10 years, 30% of the banking job will be gone. Now, I don't know how many of us work at banks, but as you know, Hong Kong is a major banking center. And so really, actually, that makes me start to think about the whole thing. Now, the fact is this, as Fred points out, I teach financial courses in Hong Kong at Space and Kaplan, okay, many places. So I'm thinking that, are the things that my students are learning, how useful are they? How relevant are they for the future? Now, especially, you can think about what I'm sure some of you know about something called capital asset pricing model, modern portfolio theory, fractional model. Now, all this stuff I tell you are invented or discovered in the 50s and 60s, which is a long time ago. And many things have happened in the last 20 or 30 years in technology. So my thinking is that unless you need to adopt to the new world, your career will not get you anywhere. And I think that's already happening. Okay, that's why you see that jobs are being eliminated. However, at the same time, new jobs are created. So I want to help to explain to the people in the younger people in our group to prepare for the future. Now, according to Citibank, there's several things happening. Not only says here that branch are closing. I mean, let's face it. I mean, branch are closing. Even in Hong Kong, I mean, one of the places we're overbanked in Hong Kong, as you know. But if you see that, I mean, branches are closed in Hong Kong, replaced by your online banking and also by your telephone. Okay, so that's a major trend. And second trend I'll talk about is automation. Banks have a vested interest to cut down costs by doing automation. Now, anybody know about what they're doing here? Anybody know what the people doing here? Yeah. Now, do they still do that in the world? Do they still have the job? Now, yeah, they're moving. Yeah. But remember that 50 years ago or 60 years ago, when this starting, this is a high-tech job. Okay, think about it. This is telephone system. Yep, this is high-tech many years ago, and these are well-trained professionals. So this is my message to you. I mean, things that you think are very technology-oriented, you think so it's just a matter of fact that things do change, and then your job will be antique, will be obsolete very soon. So we need to keep pace with the changing technology. Otherwise, we don't want to be one of them. Of course, they got other jobs. Okay. Now, I like this story because I think it keep a few words here. I think there's several important message. I went choose artificial intelligence over humans. Now, of course, humans are expensive. You know that. I mean, so everybody has a vested interest to replace all of us because we're expensive. But I just want to point out a few areas that I think I want to point out. What I want to drive your attention, which is pretty much the focus on automation or technology. Now, this is actually a little bit, I think, misleading. Now, it says that they're already used versus will. Already used versus will. So this is already happening. This will happen. I disagree. I think a lot of things are already happening. So it's not will. It is already happening. Now, let's talk about what is being done right now. Now, fraud detection. I'll talk about later in credit, in P2P. For example, in China, P2P, that's a big market. Used to be a big market. Used to be people would go to P2P and look at applicants. But those are actually doing by computer now. And in fact, we just have a news in our new group that people saying that the job as a credit, what's it called? The people who look at credit was actually one of the hardest jobs in China a few years ago. Now they're all eliminated being replaced by computers. So credit rating is one of the jobs that is being replaced by AI. Now financial advice, robo-advisor, I'll talk about that too. It's a big buzzword now. You should know about it. It is very good. It is very powerful. Now it says here that we'll employ including trading. This is absolutely not true. Trading is already being eliminated right now. It's all gone. I'll show the statistics to you. So I don't know why it says will. It's already happening. In fact, I would argue that this is already past tense. There's no more trading job for you. Forget about it. Okay, there's no way you can out trade a computer. This is not going to happen. Now, compliance is definitely one of the areas that a lot of money are going to, because given the compliance is one of the highest cost center of a bank. They really want to fire all the compliance people with computers because they are so expensive to maintain, all the legal fee. Now, research. Now, there are two. Actually, in stock research, for example, I mean, there's something called financial model. Now, actually, for those of analysts here, good news. Actually, I go to the internet. I found that actually there's not a firm that really the technology to automate financial model is not there yet. So for those sell-side analysts, you still have a job in the future, because the technology to do financial model from the sell side is still not mature. Okay, you still need another human touch, talk to management, analyze news. So the human value is there. However, I have a friend in Shenzhen actually doing sentiment analysis on financial reports. So basically what happens is that they scan the whole financial reports and look for the tone from the financial reports. Are the management very optimistic or pessimistic? Those are called sentiment analysis. So those are being done right now. Okay, now they still developing the technology in Shenzhen. But but that's part of research too. So there's things already happening. Okay. Now, in terms of why the big push for automation, I mean, AI is part of fintech, but of course, fintech is a big word. We also have blockchain, also fintech, payment to payment. But I just want to pick up a few points that I just want for those of you who understand the big picture now. I think this is important, the big picture. Banks want to cut costs because as basically, banks' revenue is not growing. Banks' revenue is not growing anywhere. It's not growing. So in order to maintain the profit or increase the profit, they have to cut costs. This is a big motivation. In fact, you look at even one of the larger growth driver in banking is Chinese banks. But even Chinese banks now revenue are growing at 2 or 3% a year. They're no longer growing. So same as in the US, the same as in Europe. There's a huge motivation to cut costs. Now, I want to point out this too. Basically, this is now a big competition between the tech and the non-tech company, as you know. The tech companies are entering non-tech world. I mean, last week we had the big news that Amazon is buying Whole Food. Okay, that's really mind-opening. So why would a tech company buying a grocery, which is the lowest tech, which is at least the lowest tax you can think of, grocery, I mean, with your milk and your meat. However, that's the world we're living in. The tech companies are invading the traditional world to increase their profit. So for example, we look at we have WeChat Pay, Alipay, and finance. I mean, all these used to be like traditional areas of banking. Banks do payment system, bank do lending, bank do investing. But now you can actually do of them through tech companies like and finance. Now also notice that all these companies are based in China. In fact, China is now the forefront of AI and the forefront of of technology. And in fintech, everybody will agree that China is #1 in fintech. Okay, US comes second. And of course, there's a big reason behind that because the regulation are much looser in China. That's a big reason. But again, they retry everything in China, really to push the technology forward. Now, this is the big picture. Now, this is called the cost to income ratio. You look at banks, you look at the cost. Okay, actually, look at Morgan Stanley here. Morgan Stanley, the cost is 80% of the income, which means that the gross profit is only 20%. Okay, and even the better one, like for example, Citigroup is 60%. So banks is a very expensive operation. It is a fact. And 80% of the costs are human costs, which is a lot of us here. Okay, so that's why you're very expensive. They want to cut you ASAP. That's true. Okay. Now, in terms of application, I just want to point out a few. I think those are actually more interesting and actually more well established. Of course, I mean everybody's thinking about new ways, but at least I think these 5 major areas are a little more advanced than others in terms of applying AI. Again, I'm focused on AI. Now, checkbox. I mean, actually, Jonathan talks a little bit about checkbox. The banks want to replace every salesperson, every teller, every RM with a checkbox. I mean, that's simple step. Okay, so you want to, in ideal world, you get all your banking service through online with a robot. Okay, now. Then you think that well, actually online banking is already happening. I mean, we do a lot of things online and we do everything with the apps. So what's the difference between chatbots? Now this is actually DBS last year. Now the idea is that you can use natural language to communicate with your banking chatbots. So in the ideal world, what you do is that you pull out your WhatsApp or your WeChat, and then you can talk to the guy who is a banker, and then you give them instruction. Okay, send certain amount of money to certain account, and of course because your apps can do voice recognition, so suppose you can do it on using natural voice too. The keyword is really natural language. I mean now you can already do online banking. But however, the key is really natural language. You use the natural, speak naturally, and the machine will recognize it and then carry out the transaction. Now, the imagination is very high. It means that you can do banking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that really open up a lot. That's really it's very convenient for us people who are busy on weekdays and when on the weekend comes, you have to the banks are closed. Okay. Now, so this is DBS. And then the checkbox, you can complete the checkbox with Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and WeChat, which is what we're doing every day. Now, I want to go to this thing first. Now, this is actually already launched. But however, I find that this is quite low profile from HSBC. Okay, this is called Amy. Okay, anybody try? Anybody try it? Now, number one, now this is a screenshot, by the way. It's a screenshot, so I'm not making it up. Can they have a better Amy? I mean, this actually looks quite scary to me. I mean, I think that they can get better Amy. I mean, there's a lot of pretty girls in Hong Kong. We can get but be sure a lot of pretty girls here. And secondly, I tried out how do I check my banking account. Now, at this moment, as you can see here, it is actually not very intelligent. This is my point here. Okay, this is what, so for those who are RM here and also those who are in the customer service, don't worry about it. This has a long way to measure intelligence. Okay, this is actually pretty primitive. First, the ability to understand what you're talking is actually quite low, number one. And number two is that the service actually is quite limited. I mean, this is FAQ. It's just a way to pull off FAQ from from the library. Now, if you talk about banking transaction, you did almost like 99% accuracy because whether it's a 3 or 4 makes a big difference in banking, as you know. You don't want your money to send to some other account that you don't authorize. So I think the checkbox, I mean, even though a lot of people talk about that, it's still a very primitive technology. It's under development. However, I mean, this is no doubt about that. Checkbox conferences are everywhere, so I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next few years. But at this moment, the functionality is quite limited, so don't worry about it at this moment. Now, this is actually another very famous news actually from last year. One of the biggest banks in America launched another robot checkbox called Erica. Okay, also remember Erica rhymes with Bank of America. Okay, that's how it's called Erica. And now the news came out last year, and they haven't launched. It's still launching yet. So again, the HSBC that you see, actually, I have to give HSBC a lot of credit. Actually, they are one of them. They actually launched one of the earliest version of checkbox, banking checkbox. So a lot of banks talk about it, but actually a lot of banks never deliver anything. And of course, the reason is quite simple because if it's screwed up, it is a nightmare. If you make a wrong transaction, everybody blames you, and then will bring the people who develop checkbox. So I think the banks are very smart in kind of to delay the process to make sure that it works before do a full scale delivery. Again, you can go to YouTube and they have a video showing what it can done, what it can do. Trading is important because actually trading is one of the most mature technology in AI, using AI. I mean, in fact, I'll argue that it's pretty much over already. Okay, this is already done deal. Okay, no more human in trading. It's just replaced by computer, and there's no way you can beat a computer in trading. Okay, this is already. So in terms of a checkbox, I think it's a bit more beginning. This is actually much more. It is actually mature technology. This is mature. Now, this is actually a very famous book. I remember when I first worked with Fred, we started Hedge Funds, everybody read this book, The Turtle Trader. But the idea is this. It's actually the story started in the 80s. There's one very successful trader in the US called Dennis. And he has an argument one day with a colleague. Can trading be learned? Can trading be learned? Because some people argue that, well, you know what, this is an inborn skill. So you're either born with it, or you're born a trader, or you're not born a trader. Then let's take the view that actually, that trading can be born. It's just a skill. It's just a knowledge. So you want to learn from the man, from a good teacher like himself. Everybody can become a good trader. So what he did is that actually go on the market, put an ad in the paper. I want to hire 20 people with no skill in trading, with no knowledge in finance. I'll give you about 1 month training. And then I'll give you $1 million US to trade. The idea is that if you start with nothing, after 1 month of trading, you should be as good or become as good as him. Because at the end of the day, trading is a set of rules. You follow the rules and then you should become a good trader. Now, then the results is actually quite, I think it's quite controversial. Some people think it works, some people don't think it works. But the idea is that training is something that you learn, and if you learn, if it can be codified, then everybody should do it, especially computers. It's just a bunch of code. If then else statement, basically. Now, so in fact, that's what they do here. They will just slowly, gradually replace traded by computers. Now, it's actually, this news is quite interesting. This is actually back in 2012. And it's regarding UBS. Actually, a lot of UBS here today. So I don't know whether any UBS fans, but an example from UBS. Actually, some banks are much more progressive in fintech, and UBS being one of them in Europe, and so the big banks in the US, they are much more progressive. Now, the thing is this, they are replacing the head of CDS trading by machine. They just fire off the head of trading on CDS. Now, the key is this, CDS, as you know, is an OTC instrument. Okay, it is a complicated instrument. It's not like a bonds and stocks. Okay, there are a lot of terms in the CDS. So the idea is that even a product as complicated by a CDS can be replaced by machines. Now, this again, this is actually back in 2015. Again, the trend continues. Now, so why do you want to replace computer by machines, but human by computer? Because you are expensive and you are prone to error. Okay, this is what it says here. I'm not going to make it up. Now, this is key. As I said, the U.S. banks tend to be much more progressive on technology, adoption of technology in finance. I mean, there are two reasons behind it. Number one, they have the money. Over the last 10 years, especially the last 5 or 6 years, the US banks tend to be much more profitable than the European banks. You look at the stock price, this is your Goldman Sachs, this is your HSBC, you get my point. Okay? And secondly, of course, the US banks are much closer to Silicon Valley, where the fintech are all happening. So they can adopt the technology much faster than the rest of the world. Now, it says here, Goldman Sachs now employ more programmers and engineers than Facebook. I didn't make it up. Okay, let me say again. Goldman Sachs now hire more programmers and engineers than Facebook. So Goldman Sachs is a technology company. It's not a bank. Okay, which is actually, this is the trend. So now every bank is transforming itself to technology companies. So in other words, to develop your financial career, you don't have, it's not enough that you only know about finance. You have to know about technology because this is a big direction. Okay. I'm going to skip that, but this is just saying that a percentage of products now trade electronically, so no longer by humans. So for some products, it's 90% are traded by machines, and some are less. But you can see that the line is going that direction. The black line is 2012, and the yellow line is 2015. So the trend is being that traders are being replaced, okay, one by one. Okay, so again, this is actually based on Goldman Sachs. This is just Goldman Sachs. It just says here that 85% of the CDS, the cash credit, which is your corporate bonds, your commodities, 25%, 90% of the FX are all traded by machines. So forget about the picture that you see a very noisy trading floor. That's no longer a reality. Now all trading floors are all just machine running. Okay, you have 1 or 2 persons sitting here, make sure the machine don't screw up. That's all it is. They are babysitters. The people in the trading floor are just babysitters. Make sure that things don't screw up. Okay, and then plug the plug in case something screw up. That's all they're doing. Okay. Now, then I want to talk about the latest development in hedge funds. I shouldn't say latest development. This is happening, but I think this it is actually quite. I think you should know about it. Now, a lot of people, again, think about Soros, okay, the hedge fund manager, which is one of our idol. But however, I mean, Soros, think about it, are the old school. All those make money during financial crisis, and unfortunately, financial crisis don't come very often. Okay, that's the good news for us, but bad news for him, because he make a lot of money during big financial crisis, and all the regulators and government central banks are trying their best to reduce those occurrences. And secondly, many years ago, one of the tricks that makes a lot of money is through leverage. You can leverage up to 10 times, 20 times, 30 times to take advantage of the market movement. Nowadays, the banks would not let you leverage that much. This is a fact. Okay, because of all the regulation, you cannot leverage 30 times, which is what he did during the Asian financial crisis. That's history. So all his strategies no longer work. So that's why he's retired. Of course, he's also 90 years old. That's also a factor. But however, you understand a lot of his strategies no longer work nowadays. Okay, this is a history. Now, what works now is actually quant trading. Now, if you look at the three biggest hedge funds in the world, or US, which is the world, number one is Bridgewater by Ray Dalio. Number two is now Renaissance Technologies, and number three is called Two Sigmas. They are all quant funds, nothing but quant funds. Okay, they all run financial computer models. Okay, you don't see they don't hire analysts. Okay, they just simply don't hire analysts. They hire computer programmers. Okay, and these are the three of the biggest hedge funds in the world. Okay, Ray Dalio has about Bridgewater about $60 billion AUM, and Renaissance about $50 billion AUM. Okay, so again, Renaissance, the founder is called James Simons. James Simons, in case you know about him, is a MIT professor in mathematics. So before he became a hedge fund trader, he's a mathematician teaching math at MIT. So this is the trend now, dear friends. Now, this is his performance. Okay, last 20 years, the last down year is 1989. The last down year. Okay, compound return 30%. Okay, I mean, in our world, this is unheard of. This is unimaginable. Okay, you have to screw up somewhere. Now, then in fact, you ask me, this is actually a bit too good to be true. I mean, but who knows? But well, this is what Bloomberg tells me. So I trust they are doing their job. But this performance is just unimaginable in hedge fund world investing. Last 20 years, never down year. Compound return 30%. It blows every. In fact, if you ask me, it blows every theoretic or every financial model away. In finance, you're not supposed to do it. If you have 30% return, you should be taking a lot of risk. Okay, this thing have no down year over the last 20 years. This is unexplainable by finance theory. It shouldn't happen at all, and he's doing it. Now, how does he do it? Computer, math, and big data. That's it. In fact, he doesn't hire any people from finance. If you have an MBA and CFA, he will not hire you. That's old school. Okay, he hired astrophysicists, physicists, scientists, and engineers, and computer programmers. You're not supposed to know anything about those stocks. You're not supposed to know it. Okay, you only need to know that their financial instruments have a return, have a risk. That's it. Okay, this is how the world is coming. And again, this is not a small hedge fund. It is It is now a $48 billion hedge fund. It's huge. Now, in fact, the James Simon now, one of the richest guy in the whole world, he's worth about $18 billion. Okay, remember, Lucas is only 30 billion, so it's not. And he's kind of old now, so people definitely catch up with me easily. Okay, now this is the kind of tell you what the world is changing. Now this is actually the UBS trading floor in Connecticut. Okay, this is 10 years ago. This is now. So I think you got a picture. Now I think I'll skip that. Okay. So again, okay, just one comment. I work in operations. Okay. Nowadays you have your FACA, you have your CRS, you have the AIFMD, and then your whatever. Compliance is getting harder and harder because you're now, in fact, even you're based in Hong Kong, you have to comply with your Cayman rules, US rules, UK rules, whatever. Given all the rules, it's simply not doable for a human being to do it because you have limited information. You may know your Hong Kong rules very well, you may know the Hong Kong laws very well, but now you have to know also the Cayman laws, US laws, blah, blah, blah. So the only way to do it is through machines. Okay, this is the only way that they can do it. Okay, somebody input the rules, and in fact, the ideal world, the machine will try to pull the most update and then tell you what's wrong, what can be done and what cannot be done, and how to do filing. There are tools so many fine nowadays. I lost track. I was talking to Prudence. I mean, let me put it this way. I mean, how do you file this? How do you file to Cayman? How do you file to US? How do I know? Okay, this is only can be done on machine, as simple as that. Okay, humans are prone to errors, and then we simply do not have the time to do it. So this is kind of the trend. Now also, looking for suspicious activity. The big news, the big thing now is called the AML, anti-money laundering, and you're supposed to report suspicious activities. Now, because we're a hedge fund, we don't tend to do a lot of transactions. People tend to put the money in and then stable. But think about the banks. They have like millions of transactions every hour. How do you report detect suspicious activities? I guarantee you that nobody can do it. The only way to do it is actually by through machines. Okay, tell you that, well, for example, I mean, why is an account sending money to a certain bank that is a small amount of money for the last 10 days, a small amount of money to a suspicious banking account, I mean, then you report to the supervisor. There's no way a human can do that. But so actually the market forced you to adopt AI. I'm going to skip that. Okay. This is actually fraud prevention and fraud detection. It's a big thing now in AI. Just as an example, I think I always love to use this quick example. Insurance. In the insurance form, you claim yourself to be a non-smoker. How do you prove yourself to be a non-smoker? Now remember, in insurance, often this is like a self-declaration. Your agent has a vested interest to work with you to fool the insurance companies, because that's how they make the commission. The insurance agent actually work on your side, not to the insurance side, because they want to close the deal for them. And so the insurance companies actually have a lot of risk, because I don't know when you claim, when you talk about you don't have very bad habits, if you don't smoke, how do I detect that? Nowadays, I mean, your AI can go on your social media to search your background, who to deal with. You claim that you never rock climb, but however, I see some pictures of you rock climbing on Everest. Okay, so this is the trend. I mean, this is already developing. I mean, this is happening right now. So make sure you know what you're posting on Facebook. Okay, please do that. Be very careful. Okay. Now, last thing I want to just talk about is robo-advisor. Actually, robo-advisor makes a lot of sense. If you think about your CFA level 3, okay, I'm teaching a CFA. S-allocation. S-allocation is nothing but a bunch of mathematical formula. You create an efficient frontier, this is your indifference curve, and then you find the optimal portfolio. That's all it is. Now, in fact, many years ago, when I first joined the industry, they talked about the optimal, create an S-allocation for each individual. However, it is a very expensive and many manual effort. So in the past, it's only done on the private bank level, which is CFA level 3 material. It's still being done, but not to the mass market, but only to the highly affluent, which is the private bank. But now with robo-advisor, everybody can get that service very soon. Now this is Betterment. This is one of the more well-known names in the US doing robo-advisor. Charles Schwab's only, but this is actually one of the better names. I just want to highlight a few things. Now once you answer some questionnaires, they create a model portfolio for you using mostly ETF. Now what does is this? Rebalancing. So again, level 3 we learn about rebalancing 60-40, and then at the end of year, then it's already out of balance, you have to rebalance it. It can be done automatically. Now this is actually quite smart. Tax loss harvesting. So sell the loser and use the loser to invest in to crystallize capital loss. So again, I mean, this can be done on the human level, but just on the machine level, it is just easier and it's available to the mass market. Look at here, the minimum amount is 0, so anybody can enjoy the service. So it's not for the high net worth. It can be done on a really low for mass market. Okay, So again, we have friends in Hong Kong doing B2B business. So some companies do B2C, so they provide a full service to the clients. However, in Hong Kong, a lot of cases we see are actually B2B, selling the service to the banks, and banks provide to the clients. Okay, now this is actually one of the things that is really amazing. I want to talk about, again, my friend here, UBS. Okay, I love UBS, by the way. Big supporter of UBS. Yeah, I know. Okay. When I talk about the advisory service, it is very expensive. So in the past, it only provided the high net worth, the highly affluent. But because so many things are now automated, can be done or by robots, those services can be provided to the mass market. Now, it says here that now UBS can provide a flat fee offering for wealth management service with invested capital of 250,000 US. 250,000 US. That's like 2 million Hong Kong dollar. That's in the private bank world, it is this is almost nothing in the private bank world. So think about it, now you can go to Goldman Sachs and UBS, which in the past kind of keep you away because you do not meet the requirement, you can enjoy the service. Now guarantee you that you will not get human service. Don't even think about talking to a human. They will not get it, but at least your passbook is a statement from UBS and from Goldman. So that's the good news. Now in fact, I'll skip that. Now in fact, this is the this is actually from last year. Goldman do launch the GS Bank online bank in the US, and then later they do to P2P. So it's not that hard now to open an account at Goldman. I think with 5,000 US now you open a bank account at Goldman. So this is already, because of automation, the service can be pushed to the mass market. So these are already happening. The last thing is this. I mean, again, this is kind of to get back to Jonathan. Actually, this is quite recent. This is actually just a few days ago. I look at this as Jack Ma, which is again my idol. I mean, how to prepare for future? I mean, he says here that actually, those who fall behind will be painful. I think we all know that what painful means. And however, you catch up with that, you'll be rich. Okay, so this is a dichotomy. We have the success, we have the faith, we have the people who catch it and then be successful, and people who don't catch up and fail. It's as simple as that. It's a really dichotomy. Jonathan showed you the chart of the tech stocks. I just show you another one. Now, this is your Amazon here. This is over 5 years. It's over 5 years. So Amazon is up 350% in the 5 years. Now, this is what is it? Actually, this is actually what is that? Oh, this is your Sears. Your Sears. I mean, I just want to paint out that old economy versus new economy, old economy versus new economy. So the question is, which economy are you in, the new or the old? Okay, I'm going to end here. I just want to say that we will continue to run courses. In fact, I'm working on Jonathan to run some financial AI courses, kind of catering to the finance market in Hong Kong. So we look at like big data. We look at do a simple checkbox. So I think this is this is kind of essential skill you need to do well in the financial market. Okay, thank you very much.
So we will have a Q&A section very soon, but before that, maybe we take a group photo. In case. Yeah. And hopefully, the UBS versions of A may be prettier than HSBC. And according to, actually, SAC also evolving into a quant fund. SAC, the quant 72, they are fundamentalists, long-short hedge fund like us. So that's why we are also evolving. We are a hedge fund investing in global technology stock and also leveraging on the AI technology to screen the stock for us as well. Not trading yet. I'm still doing the trading, but I'm not a robot, so I'm still a human. Anyway, take a photo first and before the Q&A. Okay.
So please don't go. Jonathan?
So anything to ask Jonathan or Dr. Kyle? Yeah. Oh, Jonathan. Yes.
So, question for Jonathan. Thank you very much for the speech, very inspiring. And I'd like to understand since your presentation more on the US research, how is the European? I mean, they also have a brain project, European brain project, and also maybe Japan. What's your view on that?
So the BRAIN project is on a different technical path. So the BRAIN project is about simulating brain with relatively high fidelity. It's much higher than deep learning, which is brain-inspired computing. but it's nowhere like the brain. When you simulate the brain, you actually want the artificial neurons to look very much like the real neurons, so that the kind of signals and the complexity is different. It's like simulating birds to try to make a plane. It's a lot harder, but it's possible. I mean, if you simulate it really well, I'm sure it can fly. Deep learning is trying to get to that without a full-scale simulation. So the brain projects in Europe and in Japan, they're different. But the brain dream in academia is worldwide. The reason I did not mention schools in Europe and in Japan is because they are also victims of the brain drain. And it's relatively hard, because of today's dominance in academia and US schools, it's relatively hard for non-American schools to attract enough talent to get they have a lot of excellent individual researchers, but it's very hard for them to get a group that is sizable and can make a very serious development.
So in terms of research, they are quite behind compared
Well,
to
in fact, all the schools have this problem because they don't have as much money as the industry labs. I mean, which school can pull $1 billion to make a lab like OpenAI? And even $1 billion is small compared to the tech giants.
Thank you.
Jonathan, thank you. You mentioned a lot about U.S. advanced research in AI, but based on you mentioned a lot about U.S. research on AI, but based on a lot of people that I talked to, in fact, even Silicon Valley, they say that actually the most advanced AI research actually in China. Can you maybe, based on your insight, can you comment more on what is the difference in terms of the research focus between U.S. versus Asia or China in particular?
So first of all, some of the research I mentioned in my talk, they are not from the US. The game systems, like the very classic Atari games of Breakout and the 3D Simulated World, they all come from DeepMind, which is a London-based company. However, it's owned by Alphabet. So in that sense, yeah, it's US-owned technology, but it's developed in the UK. There is this very popular impression that China is also doing very well in AI. It depends on how you look at it. In terms of the amount of publication, it's true. And a lot of the narrow AI applications in China are really very advanced. But China is relatively slow in terms of general AI development. Very few of us have heard a large-scale general AI lab being funded by Chinese money. There are AI projects in speech recognition, in translation, in image recognition, but the focus has always been a narrow AI application, but less about general AI. However, this is changing. Today, I believe very soon we are going to hear more and more voices inside China and people talking about the kind of general AI because it's getting more and more obvious as the technology grows. But it's not happening yet. Right now, the leaders are still mainly in US and UK.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for the sharing. It was really inspiring and interesting. I'm particularly curious about how you ended your sharing. So you seem to be in the camp of the optimistic side of AI, and whereas when I read about the future of AI and the implication to mankind, the general sentiment seems to be more pessimistic. I'm curious to hear more about where your optimism comes from and what do you see the pessimists getting potentially wrong. Thank you.
Well, I actually feel that people should listen to the pessimists because of the risk. Because if we get this, if we get this wrong, the cost can be potentially huge. Imagine things like, terrible things like autonomous weapons. Even you have artificial intelligence waging a disinformation war by rolling out a lot of highly realistic but fake information in video or audio in media, that could be potentially destabilizing. So because of the cost, even though you might think, I'm not optimistic, I think there is very low possibility that the AI will eventually turn out to be wrong. But I think it's more prudent to listen to the pessimists. It's like building fire prevention. Most of us don't experience building fires, but if it happens, it's really a big deal. So even the possibility is wrong, I think we should listen to the pessimists. But the reason I feel optimistic is because, well, there is this active research in AI safety, and people are looking at ways to align AI systems with human values, so that we can build systems that somehow avoid the bad consequences. I mean, we're not yet sure how to do that, but there are ways to incorporate human preferences. For example, there is a recent research, it's a joint research, I think by OpenAI and DeepMind or some other big labs. They're training AI systems in a way that is purely performance driven, so scaling up AI systems to be more and more intelligent. While at the same time, they look at the AI system, let it output, say, options that it could do in relation to its original task, but let humans choose which option, the exact sequence of actions that the system should take. And that is a way of incorporating human preferences into AI system. This type, I started to see this type of research emerging, and this makes me hopeful that before we create a powerful AI technology, maybe we can always, maybe we can also figure out how to create a friendly AGI technology.
Yes, I got a question on ethics, and thank you, Jonathan and Kyle, for the very interesting discussion. So about the issue of ethics, so if you talk about things that are not related to ethics, so investment advisory, then obviously the AI can do a better job in maybe finding new factors, say for asset pricing. But if it is in the client interface, so client advisory type of work, so where there are issues such as asymmetric information in knowledge between the financial institutions and the advisor and the client. So the issues of ethics become